go around and coordinate communities in regards to how we should get on board, how it is going to benefit each community. And as we know, whenever law implement and government shift, people tend to be upset. So right now, from Negril to as far as Darlistan, people are very much interested, I should say. But one of the things are really failing them is that it is very expensive to grow ganja at the moment for them. And based on all the fines, what they should pay, they can't see themselves getting on board. So that's where I sensitize them and let them know that to organize community, organize a group, identify properties, have regular meetings, and through just what a normal organization is taking place, and that's how it is going to happen. But how I see it, it will be fit for some communities where we are going to see big ganja fields. We could have people come in and sensitize the community that it's a shift, and this shift means you have to follow this way we are going, because things can be very violent when it comes to ganja, just like any piece of property value, or it is valuable, and we know that. And the Jamaican people right now feel as if they are deprived, and they weren't really talking to about how we are moving. So right now it looks as if it is moving away from them. So sometimes I meet up on stubborn communities where they just do not want to hear about no farming other from how they are doing it now. They do not want to see the government come in, get certain places organized and designated to plant ganja. So I am saying to people right now, they have to change their thinking. It's a revolution, and we all have to fight it. This is the goal, next goal for the world. And if Jamaicans right now don't get on board, we are going to lose this mining of this gold. And we must come together in one unity, one sure front to let it happen. Because now licenses are issuing, and as it goes by, it will be in the wealthier hands. And I am saying this today without prejudice. I am saying it because it is the reality we now have to face. So if we can unify, unite, and have laterals and bilaterals on board, it won't work. And if it works, it will be only for the wealthier people. So grassroots Jamaicans, grassroots foreigners, grassroots people, let us fight the cause for this ganja revolution. Right? My friend Barry from America could be anywhere doing something else. But we see where the Jamaican people need representation from legal aspect so they can move forward. He's here volunteering his time, sensitizing the grassroots Jamaicans. As Barry said earlier, that now is the time to think legally because the final say of this ganja revolution, it is not within Jamaica. It still carry international scrutiny. Yeah? And because of that, we might have a good product, but we handle it wrong and we get sharp. So we must now follow rules, laws and protocols to govern this product. But we will never forget, we as Jamaicans were prosecuted and put to shame and slander for this precious food, which holds the key to life's health, both environmentally and a humanitarian perspective. Anywhere you want to take it, this one plant has the miracle which is hidden, but now it is being revealed. Every time a scientist go on board and look at the plant, he sees something different. And when he sees something different, he opens a new cookie. And this plant right now, Jamaica, I am saying, I am appealing. Please wake up and smell the ganja. We have smelled the coffee. Tula. Thank you.
Thank you, Conrad. You're right on point. Real quick, here are the basic requirements. If you want to be registered, you can either be an individual, or you can be a company, or you could be a cooperative or a friendly society. All applicants have to establish a banking account down here. Now, they're very difficult, even under the best of circumstances, to open a bank account here in Jamaica. But when you're dealing with ganja, it's even more difficult because you're dealing with correspondent banking. They will do criminal background checks and disclosures for all employees. There are financial disclosures about prior bankruptcies. You need to do legal disclosures about prior litigation over the last 5 years. And also, you have to show tax compliance. So Caesar wants to make sure it gets its money. Now, the CLA's regulations currently are intended to cover a couple of different subsets of medical ganja use. Local Jamaican residents. So whoever's already using ganja medically on the island can grow up to 5 plants per resident. So that's not going to create any special demand. Anybody who's using it now is going to continue using it. There's no change there. Tourists, those with medical cannabis cards from other countries or the United States, saying Colorado, saying Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, they will be able to come in and use those cards. And let's say you come from a state, let's say Mississippi, that doesn't have that. You'll be able to self-declare. Now, what that means, I don't know. If I get headaches, does that qualify me? I don't know what the regulations are yet because they haven't come out. And all these people at some point are going to have to pay some tax to the government at the port to get that license for while they're here. And the question becomes, how much are they going to charge? Is somebody willing to pay $50 for that US, $25? Because if you're paying $50 for it, you could just go on the street and buy what you need. And why pay that to the government? Because from a recreational basis, right, if they catch you and you have less than 2 ounces, it's a $500 Jamaican fine, which if I convert that into US dollars is about $385, $390 right now. So if you have $5, you're good to smoke recreational, right? Just hand it to the cop, give him a 20 and tell him you're good for the week, right? So, the question is, originally, the government of Jamaica was discussing establishing kiosks in the ports to sell ganja directly. They have said that is not going to occur. And I think there was a lot of backlash in the communities and amongst not only the business people, but the all-inclusive resort owners as well. Nobody was happy about that development. So that is not going to occur. Now, the government of Jamaica is now seeking to declare whether inclusive resorts can have dispensaries on their property. And my opinion is they already have plenty. They don't need any more. And that project is to only keep the people in the resorts and not let them come on the street and not let them share the wealth with the locals, who this has got to benefit. Again, I have two potential solutions on this one. One, just like in the States or the supermarkets down here, you could rent space, like to a bank, and they have an area and they simply pay rent. However, at the end of the day, you know and I know that the resort owners are going to take advantage of that situation and become involved in the business. The better way to do it is to allow for those companies that have dispensaries on the strips or in the cities or even in the towns to deliver and transport. If they can deliver and transport, we've created a new industry and we've given jobs to local people as well that are in the community. So again, this legalization, which is meant to not only help the wealthy people who are connected, but it must filter down and it must help the local community, right? So, here are my questions for you. When I get off the plane, right? Somebody offers me when I go to get my rental car, do I need any ganja? When I go pick up my car in the parking lot, do I need any ganja? When I get to the hotel, the check-in person says, do you need anything? When I get taken up to my room, do I need anything? Ganja, cocaine, women, or anything else I could imagine? And I don't, just need the ganja. When I walk out to the street, I get attacked by a couple of hustlers who want to see if I need anything as well. If I was simply trying to go to a dispensary to get herb, I would never make it there, right? Because I already have what I need. If I didn't pay my $50 at the port, and I went on the street and got my $50 worth, I'd be fine for a couple of days. So, the question is really, and again, this isn't going to stop, because possession of less than 2 ounces is simply a violation of the law. And it's a $500 fine or a $5 equivalent US ticket. In addition to that, the government of Jamaica doesn't even have ticket books printed up to write me the ticket. So even if the police officer wanted to write me the ticket, he couldn't. So that's not going to change. And there's no reason to make changes to simply arrest people. It's silly. And that's not the purpose of this exercise. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how do I compete with these people who are on the street if I'm running a dispensary? They have no overhead. They're not paying employees, they're not paying CLA fees, they're not paying electric bills. You've got two options to compete with the crowd. You need to be like my friend, the little strange Smurf. You need to be different and you need to be unique, right? First, you need a unique product. When I get off the plane, nobody offers me oils or brownies or other edibles or other derivative products. So if I have that product, my competition isn't for that bag of ganja on the street, for the bud. If I'm dealing with bud, it's just a commodity. I can't really earn anything. I may be able to subsist on that and not be hassled as much by the police, but that's not really going to help the community. So, if I have the oils and I'm teaching the youth real legitimate businesses, then I'm doing something. Second, do I have a unique location? If I'm on the airport, that's not a unique location, or if I'm on the street. But if I have a cliff or a lighthouse or a beach or a mountain or an art gallery, now I got something special. So either I have a unique product and or a unique location. And here's where we can help the Rasta community too. Because the Rasta community, again, can't sell it commercially, but can gift it. So, if my good brethren, Rasa Asta Block, wanted to sell a cup with his picture on it and saying, the Reggae Walk of Fame, right? He could sell you that cup for $20. And it would have his picture and the logo, which he should protect, as I was saying before. Because you're going to need to form a corporation to protect yourself legally, so you need to have that. And secondly, if you have a logo or any intellectual property, you're going to need to go to the Jamaican Intellectual Property Office and register them. So he can do that as well. And when he does that, he can sell that cup for $20. Now, my brethren is Rasta, as the day is long and the night is dark. He could gift anybody he would like some of that ganja. And you could donate to him. He couldn't ask you for anything more, but he could put it in your cup that you bought for him, because he can't give it to you together. And if you decided it was a nice idea to give him something for the gift he gave to you, he could do that. So again, Babylon has its rules and its plots and its schemes. We just sometimes need to be wise enough to skin the cat a little differently, right? So that's what we're here. We're here to think of plans, our own plans to succeed, our own plans to achieve, our own plans to employ the Rasta youth and the Jamaican youth who need opportunity and jobs. So, cannabis licensing, there are 11 categories. There are cultivators, 0 to 1 acres, very small, and the government is speaking about trying to financially support or allow those growers to grow without payment for the first year. There's medium, 1 to 5 acres, and then above that, you have processing, and there are 2 tiers of that. You've got transportation, you have retailing, herb houses, dispensaries, as well as therapeutic. You've got research and development, and eventually you're going to have the export. And that's really where the big money's going to come from. Because we know here in Jamaica, you could grow enough wonderful, wonderful ganja that would sink the island if it wasn't a rock, right? Because again, the people who are using it currently aren't going to use more of it. The tourists who are coming here aren't really going to use a lot more of it. Those who are coming for medical reasons might use more of it and create a greater demand, but not the demand that exporting is. And there are countries right here in the Caribbean, like Cayman, that want oil imported because they don't want to grow it there. How far is Jamaica from Cayman? Anyone? How many miles?
Half an hour.
Half an hour by plane? Jamaica to Cayman? Yeah. All right. Why are they going to have to import oil from Canada, which is going to sell it to them? Why does Cayman have to import oil from Israel, halfway around the globe, when they're a half hour by plane from Jamaica? Jamaica is falling behind. My brother Conrad is right, because the longer it takes to get these rules in place, that's where the opportunity is going to happen. That's what needs to happen to develop. Transactions are going to continue happening on this island, and medical research. This should be the Jerusalem of medical research for ganja. Just like Jerusalem in Israel is a spiritual center of well-being. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But we as a people, we as a community, need to demand that we're given that opportunity to participate in that. Because this, ganja, is Jamaica's last natural resource. And we've seen many other resources during the Commonwealth that come and take our wealth phase of oppression, right? We've seen what happened with bauxite. Jamaica has nothing else. This has to succeed for the people of Jamaica, or there's really going to be nothing left. All right? So, with exporting, there's going to need to be seed-to-sale tracking. I work with a company right now called Kind Financial. They have a seed-to-sale tracking. Now, I don't think the small farmers on the island are going to utilize that. But when you import, or excuse me, when you export, just like you were exporting pharmaceuticals or vegetables or any kind of container ship commodity, you need to be able to trace the chain of custody. And when you train that chain of custody, what's going to happen is you're able to see where it's been from, and when the money has been flushed into the system and whether plants have illegally been introduced into the system.